Well, hello, hello. I am so excited to be back behind the mic for the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant podcast. Please know that I missed doing this so much. I have not recorded a podcast since November 2020. So let me tell you, Happy New Year. I hope you and your family have been doing well. I hope that you have continued to press forward in your virtual assistant business. I do not plan to take long breaks like this in the future. So I am so glad to be back. I was not sick, anything like that. I had a lot of things that I had to take care of and get done. And so I'm excited and happy to return here to the business of being a virtual assistant. So we got some things to discuss. I wanted to kick off this first episode. If you're watching the video, I have got my notes here on a clipboard right beside me, so you'll see me look over there. I want to just talk to you about 5 things that I wish I had known before I started my virtual assistant business. Okay, so 5 things. Here they are. And not in any order. This is the order they came to my mind. They are not in order of priority. So, the first one is no negotiations. Your price is the price. So when I first started, and I would say even 3 years into having a virtual assistant business, um, if a client gave me some pushback on price or they asked, well, I don't know, what about this? Then I worked with them and did negotiations. And let me tell you, the clients that I negotiated with compared to the clients who did not, they just was like, okay, great. When do we start? The clients who did not try to negotiate were so much easier to work with. They were not as demanding compared to the ones that had negotiated me down from my rate. So, one of the things that I wish I had known was not to negotiate, to be firm on my price. The price is the price. I am not one to walk into a store and haggle prices. There's a time and place for that. You're going to get a car, that's part of the deal, unless you're going to a place that does not haggle. But when I go to the doctor's office, if I'm going to get a massage or something like that, I don't negotiate on the price. They tell me what the price is, and that's what I pay. And that's how I want my business to be. The price is the price. So no negotiations. If you have been negotiating and have experienced a client that gave you, some pushback and then you did it and then later on you regretted it, I want to hear about it. Shoot me an email or better yet, message me on Facebook. Let me know how that went for you. Okay, number 2, trust yourself. This one's a big one because if you are used to working in a corporate environment where you have to get things signed off, you have to get approval or somebody to review it. When you cross over to having your own business, there isn't that anymore. It's all on you. And so it's important that you trust yourself. Trust yourself in regards to, oh, I hit the desk. Sorry about that, guys that are watching the video. Um, Trust yourself in regards to if you set your trust yourself in the price. You can change things. The way you want to set it today may be completely different 6 months from now. So trust yourself as you're making decisions in your business. There is no sign off, there is no review, there is, none of that. You're going to learn as you go. I want you to trust yourself as the owner of your business. No one can tell you how to run your business. They can advise, they can make suggestions, they can share experiences, but it falls on you. So trust yourself. That is extremely, extremely important. 1 and 2 kind of work together because if you're trusting yourself on the price, you will not negotiate. Number 3, and this is another big one too. is being caught up in what other people think. So, one of the things that is a little pet peeve of mine is when I am in groups. This is an experience. I've been in coaching groups, and people want to post their logo or they want to share, the name of their business or something like that. And they want people's opinions. What do you think about my colors? What do you think about my logo? Do you like this? Do you like? And this is one of those things where it's like, hmm, how can we give an opinion on that, right? Because we don't have all the facts. We just know pretty, not pretty, legible, not legible. But beyond that, we don't know the facts. We don't know anything about your business or you or the culture or what you want to convey, who your audience is. So, how can we give a critique of something we know nothing about? Also, this is one of the things that causes people to hesitate to put their business out there and to share that they even have a business is because they're concerned about what other people think. And a lot of times it has to do with family. What's family going to think? What's coworkers going to think? I want you to consider the source when people are giving their thoughts and opinions about something. And this is when you're not soliciting for their thoughts and opinions, they just want to give it. Consider the have they ever started a business before? Have they ever done what you're trying to do? Consider the source. Also, note this: people who are busy doing their thing do not have time to give unsolicited critiques to you. Busy people are busy, they're doing their thing. And if you in the feed, they're rooting you on, cheering you on, but they're not critiquing and giving you unsolicited advice. So consider the source. Do not let other opinions get in the way of what you want to do in your business. Remember, number two, trust yourself. These are intertwined. Number four, keep going no matter what. Keep going. Keep going. Let's see, from November to now, behind the scenes, Virtual Hired Hand, that's the name of my virtual assistant business. We have kept going, building the team, getting new clients, continued. The podcast paused, the business kept going. I want you to keep going no matter what. Now, what's the no matter what? Ups and downs, right? So when things are going high, we got a lot of clients, we tend to slow certain things down, promotions, putting ourselves out there, marketing. I want you to keep going no matter what. When there is a dip and businesses slowing down, or maybe it has plateaued, maybe you're feeling discouraged, keep going no matter what. When I say going, what does that look like? Especially when, let's say, you've plateaued, meaning you have clients, you want more, but you're not getting what you're looking for. Keep going. That means it's time to write, it's time to create, it's time to speak, it's time to put yourself out there, it's time to seek opportunities to share who you are to get out of that lull. For those of you that work out, you know you got to change up the routine because your muscles, they remember. If you've been doing the same routine for a while, they remember and they're just going to stay. You're not going to see any progress. You're just going to be maintaining. If you want to get out of that plateau, you got to switch up the workout. You got to switch it up. And that's what I want you to do in your virtual assistant business. Keep going, switch it up where you need to. And you know exactly where you need to because we know where we're lacking and haven't given it our all. We know exactly where the point is. And you could be listening and thinking, oh, I'm not really sure, Tiffany, I don't really know. You know, if I go down the list, You know the things that you haven't been doing. Starts with, how do people know you exist? If you haven't been doing the things to let people know you exist, that's one way to jumpstart things, to get out of that lull, to get out of that plateau, right? And then those of you that are on a high, you're like, oh my gosh, I am max. I got all the clients. I'm doing it. I'm so busy. I'm looking for time for me. And here I am on this podcast saying, keep going. The reason why I want you to keep going is because you never know what's going to happen. Our businesses are dependent on our clients. We need clients to continually come to us. Whether you have recurring clients, one off projects, or a mix of both, we always need clients coming. And if we get too caught up in who's here and not continue to market and put ourselves out there, if something happens with a client, good or bad, that affects you, you don't want to be in a situation where you're desperate for the next client because you stopped. Keep going. Nothing wrong with having a wait list. In fact, you may build demand for yourself by having a wait list. You never know. Give it a shot. Let me know if you're out there and you're maxed and you keep going and you start to build a wait list. I want to hear, what are people saying about you and your business and how they really want to work with you and they're waiting for that opening. I bet you demand will increase. Number 5, if you are a regular listener to the podcast, you've heard me say this. This is something that I wish I had known before I started, and that is that your business is your number one client. You are your number one client. We tend to focus on all the other clients and neglect number one client. What does that look like? That is when we slow things down. It goes back to number 4 about keep going. Number one client gets kind of thrown to the wayside when we get busy with other clients. We forget that we have to nurture our own business as well. This is something that I didn't even think about. I had no idea. I was so focused on serving my clients that I forgot about the number one client. All the things that I was doing for my clients, number one client needed that as well. The number one client was there before anybody. The number one client allowed me to do experience trial and error, to figure out how long different things took, to figure out what was the best software for different types of projects. You've got to take care of the number one client. That is your business. Your business is the number one client. I'm going to go back through the 5 again real quick, just in case you're taking notes and don't want to rewind just yet. Here they are all together. Number 1, no negotiations. Your rate is the rate. Number 2, trust yourself. Number 3, disregard what other people think, right? Our business is not about the opinions of others. Number 4, keep going no matter what. And number 5, your business is your number one client. That is my timer. And I want to add a little asterisk to number 4 about keep going no matter what. Life does happen. And we might not be able to give 100% at the moment. Give what you can, but don't stop. Give what you can, but don't stop. A lot of things going on. We may get, blindsided by life situations, and we might have been at 100% and have to drop all the way down to 20%. But I want you to keep going where you can, regardless of what's going on. Because when the dust settles, you want to still have a business. You want to still be able to continue. And if you're at 100 and you dip, you can't even do 20 or 10, you need a network. You need to call on some people to step in and help where you can't do it. I've had some major life things happen to me in my business and had some people that I could call on to help and jump in where I mentally could not. So keep going no matter what means either you keep going or you bring some other people on board that can help you and they can be the ones to keep going for you. So, anyway, I'm so glad to be back behind the mic for the podcast. It has been an absolute joy doing this podcast, and I plan to continue it on and on. If you are not on our email list, I'm not sure why not. Maybe this is your first time listening to me. My name is Tiffany Parson. I think I completely forgot to say my name in all the excitement. My name is Tiffany Parson. I have had a virtual assistant business since 2008. I want to welcome you and thank you for listening in to this week's episode. If you'd like to hear more, be sure to subscribe, whether you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever the podcast is. Or if you're on YouTube and you're watching me, be sure to hit the subscribe button there. So, anyway, if you haven't gotten on the VIP email list, please do. You want to text the number 345 345. See, I'm just out of practice. I'm going to keep this in there. I'm human, y'all. I want you to see it. I want you to text if you're not on the email list. The number to text is 345 345. And the word you're going to text is VA start. VA stands for virtual assistant start. START all together. I look forward until the next episode. And if you can't wait, you just want to say something to me right now, head on over to Facebook. The Facebook page is The Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I will see you on the next episode. You have a wonderful and fabulous day.